Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name's Zara. If you are new to the channel, some people call me Zara or Zaza. Hello, 2017. Welcome. I can't believe 2016 is gone. I felt like I blinked and that's it. It's gone. 2017. But I'm hopeful. This year's going to be a good year. Mark my words. It's going to be a good year. You know, we can but hope. Because last year was crazy. It was crazy. But like I said, welcome to my channel if you are new. I know I haven't put up a video for a while. If you know, you have been watching my videos for a while. But a lot has gone on. Like I said, it's crazy 2016. But yeah, we're back. I'm glad if you are regular to my channel that you are back too. But yeah, I wanted to do a recap today about my virus induced wheeze video that I done about 8 months ago. For those of you who don't know what a virus induced wheeze is something that affects children, usually young children, I believe it's between the ages of 2 and 7. And basically what happens is either before, during or after having a cold or a flu, what seems to happen is they develop a wheeze where it's difficult for them to breathe without assistance. They can breathe but just not properly. They are basically gasping for air because what happens is their stomachs contract. So you'll see them drawing in air and it makes their stomachs literally contract inwards where they're gasping for air because they're not able to get the air to their lungs. If you haven't seen my last video, what happened with my daughter was basically one day we was at home. She was perfectly fine in the morning. She had just gotten over a cold, nothing major. It wasn't like a really bad cold. It was just a normal cold. And I noticed that she was very subdued, very relaxed. And my daughter is, the complete opposite. She's always bouncing up and down, full of energy. And she was just sat on the sofa. She didn't really want to move, didn't really want to do anything, didn't really want to eat. And I noticed that her stomach was contracting, like I said, where she was sucking in the air, drawing in the air really, really fiercely. So I took her to the hospital and they put her on a nebulizer. Nebulizer, I believe, contains steroids, which goes through a chamber on their face. It pumps the gas through the chamber and they breathe it in and it helps to boost their lungs to work better. So she was on that for about, I'd say 30 minutes to an hour. And then afterwards they had her on an asthma pump, salbutamol asthma pump, so the blue one, if you're aware of asthma pumps. And they had on that one, and I believe it was I think at first it may have been every half an hour, and I believe it was either 6 to 8 pumps every half an hour. And then as time goes on, it gets less and less. So I think after about 4 hours, it went down to, about 2 hours, it went down to every hour. And then 2 hours after that, it went down to every 2 hours. And then it gets less and less that she's having to take the pumps, and then less pumps each time. So then we went into the hospital, I believe, 5 o'clock in the evening, and we were not able to leave until roughly about midday, 12 o'clock the following day. By that time, she was still wheezing a little bit, but just not nowhere near as close as much as the day before. So yeah, and then they give you like an asthma plan, although it's not technically asthma because it's similar. They give you an asthma plan, and it tells you how many pumps you have to give your child, for how long, and for how many days. And then it says if it goes on for longer than the amount of days that the plan is for, then you have to take them back to the hospital. Luckily, I haven't had to do that, and I hope I won't. But yeah, so she has had roughly 3 more wheezes since then. Yeah, I believe it's 3. She had one, I think, probably a few months after the first one, and then the last 2 were around the summer just gone, so summer 2016, or like September times. But they weren't very difficult, they weren't really bad. She was, I managed it at home because although you are not recommended to manage it at home, you are told to take them to the hospital. I felt that I was able to manage it, and I was, but I would still say, take them to the hospital because you don't know, and I will in the future because you just don't know. But yeah, so I'll show you the asthma pump and what I call spacer. I don't believe they call it that anymore. No, they call it the aero chamber. So this is the aero chamber, and if you've seen these before, this is an asthma pump, this is the salbutamol asthma pump, and what you do is you take the lid off, you make sure it's always clean, you do a pump just to make sure it's working and it's not blocked, you shake it and do a pump, and then you insert it into the hole at the bottom of this little rubber hole, and then this end goes over your child's nose and mouth like so, and then no matter however many pumps you're advised to provide your child with, you pump while it's attached to their face, they breathe it in, you count for 10 seconds, and then you do another pump, and then you continue to pump as many times as you're recommended for however long you're recommended to do it. So say you're doing it every hour or every 2 hours, you'd make sure you follow that, and that also means throughout the night also, so you do have to wake your child up through the night and provide them with it, because any delay is not beneficial to them. You have to make sure that they get in the routine pumps. Right, so also I took my daughter to the doctor a couple of months ago, and she had a checkup, and she obviously knew that my daughter had the virus induced wheeze, and was talking to me about it. I did ask her, is this a lifelong thing, or is this something she can grow out of? And she did say to me that there's 2 things that can happen. She can either grow out of it by the age of 7, or what could happen is it could then turn into asthma, because at the moment the wheeze is not classed as asthma because it's only ever happens around the time that she has a virus, and not out of that time, so either before, during or after a virus, with cold or flu. Because it doesn't happen outside of that time, they see it as less likely to become asthma, because an asthma attack can hit you at any time, whereas this is isolated to the flu or cold. So she could potentially grow out of it by the time she's 7, or it could develop into asthma. But that's something that they will have to review. You'd have to take your child to the doctors every so often and have it reviewed, and be very aware yourself, recording it yourself to make sure you're seeing how often your child is having these wheezes, so then you can kind of determine for yourself if this is something that may go away. I believe for my daughter, I do believe it's something that she could definitely grow out of. I don't believe it's asthma, because I suffered with asthma as a child myself. Although I grew out of it myself, it's not the same. I think that you know your child the best. No one knows your child like you do. No one knows my child like I do. You know when your child's sick, and you know the signs to look out for, especially with the wheeze. Do look out for heavy breathing, struggling to breathe. The contracting of the stomach is the most, that's what really shows you, yeah, that's probably a virus-induced wheeze, and take them to the hospital, take them to the GP, or call emergency services. But yeah, if there are any more, if there is any more information that you'd like to find out about virus-induced wheeze, even if I'm not sure about it, I'm sure I can find the information for you, and I can provide it to you. Just leave a comment on the video, and I will reply. I always will reply. But please like the video, please share it, leave your comments, recommendations of videos that you'd like to see from me in the future. I will be trying to upload as much as possible from now on. I know I keep saying that, but I will. 2017, I'm trying to be focused. And yeah, and please subscribe if you're not already. Press the subscribe button and the little bell that's next to the subscribe button, and that will alert you of any new videos that I upload. But yeah, so it's 2017. Happy New Year. Let's go. Bye.